Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to December 2020, the last month of the year. I saw somebody's Facebook posting this morning. They had their Christmas decorations out, and it was a Santa Claus on a step, and then down below it was the numbers 2020, and the Santa Claus had a string of lights starting at around his tummy area and flowed over the 2020 into a pile of lights in front of the 2020. So it appeared like Santa was, for a better word, not for a better word, pissing on 2020, and it's
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah, it was it's not easy to explain, but yeah, it was Santa. It was a little lower than his tummy, let's put it that way. I thought that was a clever idea that Dennis had to do that. But in any event, so we've had a tremendous year, that's for sure. And I want to say, first of all, that, and I know I'm not the only one, this is happening all around, but I've really ramped up my prayers for all of those people that have been impacted by this COVID virus, the people who have it, the family and the friends of people that they know have it, the first line workers, employers, employees, friends, you name it, all the way down the line. Everyone on this earth plane has been impacted by this, and so it's an important thing to put our prayers out there for everyone. And it's my understanding that starting tonight, California is being shut down again. So unless I hear something otherwise, my understanding is that we will not be gathering for church this next Sunday. And we'll have I'll do my talk online or record it like I did before in my office, and so I don't think that we are able to have any of our meetings that we have planned, our studies, our book studies, our meditations, our Christmas party. I think all of that is supposed to be on the wayside for 3 weeks, is what I'm understanding. And so if something changes, we'll obviously let you know, but that's my understanding. So today's message is entitled The Journey. The theme is the Christ consciousness. And as I wrote in the thought for the week, it's an important time right now that we are moving through. And yes, it's the Christmas season, and to me, I love the story, seeing how we are a New Thought Christian church. The Christmas story says a lot to me metaphysically, and then I love to revisit that every year to learn more and more and more of these miracles, of the truth that story gives us. And I know I just already read the thought for the week, but I thought that I would read it one more time now. For folks maybe watching this on the internet, they haven't seen it perhaps. So I'm just going to read it again. Thanksgiving celebrations such as they were this year are behind us, and we move fully into the Christmas season. I've chosen the theme of Christ consciousness for the month of December, and this week's message is entitled The Journey. Bringing our awareness to the birth of the Christ consciousness takes a journey from the head to the heart. The Christmas story is one of ordinary people whom God chose to bring the message of love to all. Mary and Joseph were required to leave their current place of residence and travel back to their roots, back to their homeland. This is a representation that in order to usher in or birth a consciousness of unconditional love, we must take the journey of faith back to our origin. We are to leave behind the known and journey by faith to where we are open and willing to be accepting the grace of God that is leading and guiding us to a greater good than we have ever before experienced. As the hustle and bustle of the Christmas season is upon us, pause to recognize that this is a holy season. This is a season to first and foremost look within our heart of hearts for guidance and direction. This is a season to let go of old, worn-out thoughts and patterns and move into the new and uncharted territory, knowing God's grace is sufficient. Be willing to broaden your expectations and simply trust that life is an unending journey, where at each step we are asked to choose love over fear, peace over combativeness, contentment over attachment. Say with me, as I enter into this holy season, I am willing to be led by the Spirit within me to seek newness. I realize God's grace is ever with me, and I am open to letting go of the past in order to embrace and experience wonders beyond compare. I trust and am always divinely guided, and it is so. So as we look at this Christmas story, I love the way that it starts with the angel visiting Mary and telling Mary of this event that's going to transpire in her life, and that I am so grateful that Mary said yes, accepted this challenge that I'm sure she thought it would be, and understood that Spirit, God's grace, was with her. And honestly, it's a far-fetched notion for a lot of us to believe that there was this impregnation of this woman and it was God, doing this, and it's not an uncommon to disbelieve it. And so as I was reading my daily guidepost, it had a subject on there of this topic, and so I wanted to share it with you because it gave me a little bit of a different look on it. It starts with Psalms 77, verse 14. You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the people. I have a hard time believing the story about Mary's pregnancy. A mom said as she sat snuggling her baby at our MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers, meeting. I just don't understand. I'm a mentor of MOPS, a ministry that welcomes moms of young children, no matter where they are in their life stories or faith journeys. We just watched a video about the Virgin Mary, who's told by an angel that she's pregnant and will give birth to the Son of God. Mary's pregnancy is a barrier for me too, another woman added. How do you explain it? All eyes turn to me. As a mentor, I'm supposed to offer perspective because I've lived through more of life's seasons. My heart was pounding. How would I answer such an important question? I don't have a logical answer, I admitted, because a miracle is impossible to understand. I hesitated, but I have my story. Today is the 15th anniversary of my diagnosis of stage 4 ovarian cancer. I was given a 2-year life expectancy, and a doctor told me that stage 4 ovarian cancer is not curable. Many people expected me to die. I think I did too. Obviously, I didn't die. I'm now declared cancer-free, and some people call me a miracle. I can't make sense of it. Why have I survived when so many others have not? I don't have an answer. And I feel both grief and gratitude. But this is what I've learned about accepting the wonder of a miracle. I don't have to understand in order to believe. And it ends with, Lord, each December when I celebrate the wonder of a miracle that I don't understand, I thank you for my health. I pray that you continue to meet each one of us right where we have a hard time believing in you. So it's something that's not explainable. We don't have to explain it. We don't have to understand it. Life is full of mysteries. We all know that. So we're taking this journey today from the head to the heart. where that Christ consciousness dwells, is birthed. And we are reminded of this at every Christmas season. That story begins, the Christmas story begins in winter, which I think is significant. In winter, we have a tendency to snuggle inside. We're not tempted or not really drawn to be wanting to go outdoors and to do other things. And so it's a journey to help us remember to come back to our essence, to come back to our homeland, to come back to this love, this kingdom within that can give us everything. It does give us everything. It's not an easy journey because it takes tenacity, it takes intention, it takes practice, because there are so many things out here in this world of effects that draw us outside of ourselves. When in all actuality, when we recognize that God is, and that God is all, there's a comfort in that. We don't have to understand it. But we have to absolutely, I believe, accept that this God is goodness, this God is love, and that means everything, all. No matter what it looks like, whatever the appearance of it is, it's always our choice to journey from that head that is questioning, that is fearful, down to that heart which is love, down to that heart which is acceptance, down to that heart which is releasing judgment, releasing limitation, and knowing that this life energy is ever expanding, is ever moving, is ever growing, is always giving us more of itself. And it is, like every journey, taken one step at a time. So we recognize that wherever we are on this journey, we're in our right and perfect place. We will get there, all of us, ultimately. That is the truth. So what is this Christ consciousness? This Christ consciousness says that there is an emissary, so to speak, that God sent this Son, this human person, to show us, to let us know, to teach us that we are divinity, that we are divine, and that we have nowhere to go other than within. I was reading Emily Cady, and she said, God is all good. God is all good, always love. He never changes, no matter what we do or what we have done. He is always trying to pour more of himself through us into visibility, so as to make us grander, larger, fuller, freer individuals. While the child is crying out for its father, mother, God, the father, mother is yearning with infinite tenderness to satisfy the child. In the heart of man, a cry. In the heart of God, a supply. How true is that? And, you know, it's interesting because it draws me to thoughts of the experiences that I have had with my granddaughter, my little 2-year-old at this point. And remembering different experiences that we've had, and one of them that comes to mind was that she wanted to go to the zoo. That's another thing that closed right now. We can't go to the zoo anymore for the time being. But she wanted to go to the zoo, and that was fine. And then she didn't want to leave. And she didn't want to get in her car seat. Well, when a 2-year-old stiffens their body, it's they're getting their way because I can't shove her into this car seat. So the first time that it happened, I called her mother and I FaceTimed her. And I said, okay, here's your mom. Your mom is telling you, you need to do this. And we got over that hump. And she got into there again, into the seat. And then the second time we went, it was a little better, but there was still some kicking and screaming over it. And so then we had to have this discussion. Fortunately, she was old enough to comprehend, understand, if you don't do what Grandma says, we are not coming to the zoo again. Simple as that. And so she has now recognized that whether she wants to get into the car seat or not, she is getting in the car seat, even though she doesn't want to. And I think I look at us, you know, as how many of us are immature humans that we don't want to do it. We kick and scream, even though we know that it would be good for us, that this is the way that would be helpful for us. I don't want to do it. And so I look at things like meditating. I'm offering a meditation class. Well, now it won't be happening for a few weeks, but very sparsely attended. And maybe all of you are doing it all in your own homes, in your own way, and then that's fine, that's fine. But many of us, I believe, and because I'm in there, I don't meditate every single day. You know, I've got other things pulling me here and there. And yet, that is where the kingdom is. That is where the Christ consciousness is. That is the supply that is waiting for us to accept it, to grab it, to be aware that it's right here. I don't have to go anywhere. Ramansa Maharishi said, all that is required to realize the self, capital S, is to be still. What could be easier than that? Really? What could be easier than that? That is a loaded question. What could be easier than just being still? I believe the Christmas story, as I said, set in the winter time, reminds us to go within, to go within where those warm fires glow within us. And when snow falls, it's quiet, right? You don't hear a raging storm, not like we had here in Alpine a few days ago, where the wind was kicking up big time. And I take note, be prepared, because it's supposed to start up again tonight. Some people said they weren't aware, but the icon is a little wind thing for Alpine tomorrow and the next day. So I've learned some things in this process. Learned that not a good idea to try to charge your cell phone in your car without it running. If you do that, actually it was really funny because I did that, and then I went to start the car and it went click, click, click. And I got out my paperwork as to when I had bought my battery, when I had the battery that's in the car now. And from what I understand, a battery doesn't really give you any notification. It works and then it doesn't work. Well, I got out my paperwork and I had gotten that battery the day after Jim and Bodding's wedding, because when I left your wedding, I had nothing, no clicks, nothing. And so I knew it was exactly, it's 3 years and 4 months or something like that. It was in July. And so I thought, well, I'm going to have to replace the battery. So here's my paperwork, AAA came out. Well, the man from AAA came out, and I told him what I had done. He goes, oh, that's the problem. Don't ever just, do your cell phone on without it running. And so he charged it, it jumped it, and it worked fine. It started up, no problem. He goes, let it run for about half an hour if you're not going to drive anywhere. So I did, and I didn't need to buy a new battery, which was nice. So, I learned of other things too. Good idea to have extra water on hand. When you're on a well, there's no power. No power means no water. And so I'm going to have those little gallon jugs of water available to me that I can pour down the toilet to let it do its thing. So lots of lessons learned in this rampage of nature that gave us. The nature and all of the wind and all of those things and all of the things that run through our minds. How easy is it to be still? It's not that easy, is it? Because our minds are forever moving, ever thinking, ever plotting, ever whatevering. And to be still and just to wait on the Lord. Wait on that still small voice. Wait on the changeless that is within us. And to take our focus off of the ever-changing life that we are in and of. When we are grounded in the silence, we're available to be taught, to have that wisdom of the divine tell us what we need to know. So I'm asking that as you take your journey through this month of December, through the wonders and the glories and the miracles of this Christmas story, that you do it with honor, with grace, with anticipation, with eagerness, that life, that love, that God is going to be giving you a tremendous gift that is personalized just for you. So take this journey from the head to the heart with full confidence that love is all there is. Namaste.